to record what's happening on the screen, and we'll see how it goes. So, we are recording in two different ways. A while back, I ended up getting a whole bunch of stuff from some fellow who needed to be done with it, and there was a lot of discs, and I don't think I've even looked at them. Trying this one, I'm thinking it's blank, and I'm hoping it's blank. It's a Packard Bell 5 1/4 inch disc, double-sided, double density, soft sectored, 48 tracks per inch. So I don't believe that this beautiful disc, which looks brand spanking new, it is certified, tested, 100% error-free, magical. I don't believe it's ever been used. So, as I have no shortage of disk drives, oh, I was out in the garage, I think I've seen more. Haven't got to them yet. I'm going to attempt, okay, I attempted to load the directory, it said file not found. Not surprising, because it's probably brand new, never been used. And there are two others that look just like it. So, I am going to give them a similar try, and I'm sure I will get similar results. In which it says file not found. I'm looking. Oh, I got my hand in front of that. At the screenshot, and I don't think it looks very clear. Aha! That looks better. I forced it to focus. Maybe I should have done that before. Oh, it is a learning experience. Every day. So for those watching, instead of typing everything again, I just pushed up the screen, hit return. I find nothing. Okay, so these are probably good discs to try to format and test. Now in here also, there was a Packard Bell floppy, similar. I guess it's the same, just not in the original thing. And it says something from September '88. What does that mean? I don't know. Does it? It may not even be. Oh, something is loading. Aha! It says game 135. Well, let's see what happens. I loaded. I run. Aha. Well, I think maybe this is a school project that somebody did, and I don't think it perhaps was finished. Maybe it needs a joystick. Maybe. Interesting. I think maybe I will consider that also to be a blank test. Now, this one says on it, and it's a different kind, just a generic thing. It says, sorry, I should tell you, Super Kit 1541 version 2.0. As I have a few what am I doing? A few 1541s. Oh, That went well. Booter. Alright. Oops. I cannot type today. Alright. So we are booting. Now, actually, it's funny, oh, wow. Prism Software presents. I'm not. Well, it looks exciting. It certainly has a lot of graphic things. Main menu. Super. Single. Dual. Single. Sector editor. Oh. Well. It looks like it's a fancy-smancy copier thing. Maybe it had the intention, maybe. I heard way back when that people would copy things for backup purposes. You know, like if you went and spent $100 on a game, you certainly didn't want the disc to go bad. So you would make a copy, perhaps using the single nibbler option, so that then when you played the game, or whatever it was, you would not be using the original disc. Yes, perhaps. Well, I don't really have anything to copy right here. It does look interesting. First of all, I'm going to take this disc out of here, because I certainly don't know. It is write protected. Ooh, here's an opportunity. For those that don't know, and it's write protected in the bestest way, it's write protected with masking tape. For those that are unaware, and probably most of you know this, but you never know how many beginners there are looking at these old machines. You see the disc, and you see that little notch right there. If that, I'm trying to get it in a good spot for the light, right in front of my face. If that is covered, the disc is write protected, which means you cannot write to it, which prevents you from doing things that you don't want to do, like format the disc. But here I have the 1541 test demo disc, which I'm going to put into this 1571. So I think I'm going to go to, oh, hang on, is that write protected? Yes, it is. I'm going to see what this does. I'm going to do dual normal. Let's see what that does. Well, it seems to, oh, wow, isn't that special? It went away. Well, whatever it was going to do, I don't think it did. Because it stopped. I just run. I'm going to reset back to nothing. And I'm going to try that again. It certainly is an impressive beginning. Prism Software. I know you can't see that over there, but if you look at the version, it has vast colors and things. Dual, oh. Well, maybe it's asking about different drives. I'm going to try differently. Single normal. Aha! Single normal. By Marty Franz and Joe Peter. Copyright 1986. Return to begin copying. Alright. I will take this disk out of there. I will put the 1541 one in. It gives me choices. I can press D to view the directory. There, I have reviewed the directory. I will return to begin copying. Insert source disk, press return. Okay. Whew. It seems to be speedy. And it flashes the screen. You know, over the years, many times using, insert destination disk. Okay. I'm going to use my usual formatting disk. Oh, it even beeps at me. The one that I test discharge with. It does seem to be flying. Anyway, long ago, way back when, even in the Amiga days and other things, there were viruses. Oh. I think it's done. Could it be done? Wow. It could be done. That was mighty fast. And I'm not sure how possible. Let's see here. Oh. I copied it. Mighty fast. Ooh, I'm going to change something, if I can. I'm going to do that again. And it asked me on that one, one of the options was verify copy. So I'm going to press enter. Makes a little dinging noise. Try that again. Anyway, it seems to be doing, those little noises of course are tracks. And it seems to be doing, it's by track. I suspect maybe some of them are more empty than others. Okay. Insert destination disk. Anyway, as I was saying, long ago, I much preferred to use the backup command on the 4040, or when it came to the Amiga, what was the command? Disk copy disk, I don't know. Because there were faster ways, but I remember once I was at a meeting, an Amiga meeting, of the Sarasota Manatee Amiga Users Group, otherwise known as SMOG. And I had always brought with me a bunch of Amiga 1000s. Oh, errors. Isn't that interesting? But yet the directory is looking fine. I wonder what that means. What could that mean? I don't know. Well, let's try that again. Oh. What have I done? Alright, put that in there. Maybe I have the disk switch. Maybe that's why it had errors. I don't know. Anyway, so here we are at the meeting, and this fellow, a well-intentioned fellow, I think his name was Wayne, he had this faster copying thing that he wanted to load in, and I said, really, no, it's okay. You know, with all these, I think I had 5 or 6 Amiga 1000s there. With all those there, it was really fine. But he insisted that he use this faster thing with these things, so he did. And of course, we ended up having some disk with a virus, and we spread the virus, and whereas I had virus protection on the Amiga 1000s. Oh, we seem to be verifying. Anyway, I had I had virus protection that was on the machine when it booted up, that would check every disk for any viruses or any. Oh, we definitely have supposedly errors on this disk. Imagine. Oh, Okay. I'm going to try that again. So anyway, I of course then said, well, that was a nice experiment, but we really don't want to spread viruses around. And so we didn't do that again. So I suppose I should have stood my ground and said, yo, no. Let's see what happened here. I'm hoping that this program does, in fact, make note of the right thing. That it won't write to things when it's not supposed to write to things. Because I think maybe in all of this I might have switched the wrong disk at the wrong time. Oh, well, it seems it's looking good. Let me just check and see if I hurt this program. If I hurt this program, no, it looks alright. I think I will try loading it again just because I can. It's funny, these people that made programs to copy other people's programs were also, it seems, paranoid about people copying their programs. So they would do whatever they could to make sure, here comes the pretty demo, to make sure that their copy program that copied other people's protected stuff wouldn't copy their stuff. Okay, so Prism presents. Yeehaw. Let us try the single normal again. So I'm going to very carefully take this out and put it over here. I'm going to very carefully take the 1541 test demo disc and put it in there. Oh, hang on. Oh, I wanted to verify. Oh well, I can do that again. Anyway, I have my copy disk here, everything's good. So, here we are, making copies. And it seems I might have found some blank discs. Isn't that fabulous? Because these discs, someone was just asked me, you know, where do you get this? I said, well, I don't know. You use one that you had. But if you didn't have any, because you're just starting out with this, what do you do? So, we are copying. Boy, it is fast. I think you can hear that.
That was easy.
Whew. Now, I do want to look at the directory. Good. Now I'm going to press any key. I'm going to change the parameters, if I can. F1. I'm going to switch to the verify copy. And I'm going to do that all again. One thing to be aware of with old disks is they can get this microscopic fungus on them. So if you're going to put in a disk that you're not sure about, and suddenly your disk drive won't read, it hasn't, we're ready. It hasn't hurt the drive, it's just dirtied the heads for a moment. We had this problem. Oh, a while back I was trying out a Pac-Man program, and actually 4 of the disk drives in this pile that need their heads cleaned were dirtied because of that disk. It's funny, it kind of worked and it didn't work and didn't want to, anyway, but it kept on dirtying drives. So, I mentioned this before, what I eventually did was cut the side of the sleeve, the black thing, the sleeve. Oh, well, looks like we're good to go. Huh. So I think what I will do, trying not to get in the way too much here, is turn this off. and then load the directory. Okay, good. Now, we will load the performance test. This is another thing. Okay, it is loaded, which I'm sure you've all seen. It's actually set up to work any Vic-20 and other such things. But what I'm going to do, because I have them here, I have this brand new disc. Actually, I think I have 3 of them. And just to give them a try, I'm going to pop one in. It's asking for a scratch disk, which is one that I don't care about. I'm going to hit enter, see if it formats. So anyway, back to Pac-Man. So I took it out of its sleeve very carefully, cutting the thing ever so gently. And then I took it to the basement, and I filled up the sink with soapy warm water. And I just whooshed the disc around in the soapy warm water for a bit, and quite literally hung it up to dry. Seems to be working. Anyway, so I waited a day or two to put it back in the sleeve and try, and guess what? The program worked, and it didn't make any heads dirty. So it's funny, even though you look at the discs, like you look through the little hole, where is the disc? You look through, not this hole, but you look at the actual disc through the little oval here, and actually this one, because it's been used a bunch, I can see some funny lines on it. But the actual microscopic sludge that builds up, like I couldn't see anything on that disc. I couldn't see anything at all. So yeah, it was baffling when every time I put it in a disk drive, the disk drive wouldn't work. So anyway, if you look back through the many episodes, you can see what's what. But really, maybe one time I'll do another video on the actual procedure of how to very carefully cut the disc out. And I did reuse the actual sleeve thing on that disc, and it seemed to be just fine. So, like when you cut them out, you don't. Oh, it's working. You don't take scissors and really ruin it. You very carefully snip down. I think I might have even lifted, because there are little things on the side of these that are all folded and kind of pressed just so. I think I lifted them ever so gently, and probably did a little cutting. But the idea was to keep the disc safe, and if I had to use a different sleeve, I could have, but I didn't have to. So, I have just formatted one of the discs that I found in the box, and it seems quite happy to be formatted. Hallelujah. Ooh, it's so crisp too. Just imagine, made more than 30 years ago, and still sharp, sharp, sharp. So, now, what am I doing here? I'm now going to gather these discs. I'm going to leave the usual ones here that I always use, my test discs. These it's funny, as tempting as it is, you know that program we looked at that really didn't look like it worked and wasn't finished, I'm going to leave it on there. I'm going to put this box of blank discs somewhere. I'll put it beside the 8296 so it's there. Now this Super Kit 1541 version 2, which actually, if you note, is not on an original disc, so somebody copied it. It might be handy, so maybe I'll put it here with my usual discs on the bottom and keep it there and see. So, You never know what you find if you're at a garage sale and somebody says, oh yeah, I've got some Commodore stuff, 64 discs around. If they don't want too much, you know, discs are always good. Maybe they work, maybe they don't. That one program is, I don't know, still, I prefer the 4040 for making pure, crisp, lovely copies where I know there's no contamination or viruses or vermin. But, you know, this one is faster. Maybe it's because it's the 1571. Maybe that helps it be faster. I don't know. Anyway, I think... Oops. Hello. Where? Aha. That's all, folks. So, until we meet again, I'm just going to try and reach in without knocking down this iPad. Boy, it doesn't like fingernails.